Hello and welcome to yet another video on Spec Signals presented by your mentor Vivek. Every coding benchmark you have heard of hands the agent a correct, complete specification and measures whether it can build the thing, which quietly assumes the hardest part is already done. A group of researchers built the opposite benchmark. Hand the agent a flawed design proposal and see whether it can find what is wrong with it. The best agent they tested scored 44.4%. And before I tell you what that means, I have to tell you what this benchmark cannot yet do because it is early and the authors say so themselves. First, what it actually is. The paper is SpecBench by Hamblin, Song Ju Jayarajan, Liu Vijaykumar and Pekimenko from May this year. And I like how they built it. They went into the request for commons threads of 5 serious open source projects: Kubernetes, React, Rust, TVM and vLLM, and pulled out the deficiencies that human maintainers actually raised when reviewing design proposals. Then the task for the agent is this. Here is the original proposal. Before review, tell me what is wrong with it. And the deficiencies are sorted into 4 classes taken from the IEEE standard: omission, ambiguous, inconsistent, and incorrect. Notice that omission is one of them. The agent is being asked to notice what is missing, not just what is wrong. Now, the limits, and this episode has more of them than usual because this is version 1 of a benchmark and not a settled result. 1, and it is the big one. The ground truth was filtered using a panel of language models acting as judges, scoring each deficiency on a 5-point scale, not human domain experts. The authors are completely upfront about this. They write that in the next version, they will replace the LLM only review pipeline with domain experts. So right now, part of what is being measured is agreement with other models. 2. There is no human baseline. Nobody measured what a skilled human reviewer scores on the same set. So 44% might be poor, or it might be close to what an expert manages on a cold read of somebody else's design document. We genuinely do not know. And 5 repositories, all of them large infrastructure projects, is not the whole of software. With all of that said, the number. The best performing agent they evaluated reached 44.4% accuracy at identifying the deficiencies that human reviewers raised. Claude models scored similarly. Gemini models were also evaluated. And here is where I have to stop you, because I nearly did it myself while writing this. You will want to put 44% next to the 80% scores you have seen on implementation benchmarks and conclude that agents are twice as good at building as at reviewing. Do not do that. Those are different benchmarks, different tasks, and different scoring schemes. That comparison is not available, and anyone who makes it is selling you something. What you can say is much simpler, and it does not need a comparison at all. On this task, as constructed, the majority of the deficiencies that human maintainers raised were not found by the agent. More than half of them went unnoticed. That sentence stands entirely on its own. And honestly, the score is not even the most interesting thing here. The most interesting thing is that this benchmark exists at all. Somebody looked at the field, saw that every leaderboard measures implementation, and decided that specification quality deserved a number too. That is a shift in what the industry thinks is worth measuring. So, what do you actually do with this? The practical read is narrow, so let me keep it narrow. Do not hand your specification review to an agent and consider the job done. Asking one to critique your spec is still worth doing. It is free, it takes a minute, and it will sometimes catch something real. But treat what comes back as a list of things to look at yourself, not as a verdict. And notice the thread running through the last 3 episodes. 6. Reviewing is now the most expensive thing a developer does. 7. A fifth of the issues survive that review anyway. 8. And the agent cannot take that job off you yet, at least not on this evidence. 3 separate sources, all pointing the same direction. So here is the signal. The industry has started measuring the specification and not just the code, and that alone is worth the episode. The number is early and heavily caveated, and I would not build a strategy on it. But nothing here suggests you can stop reading your own design documents. Knowing what a specification is missing is still your job. If you found this useful, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for patient listening, and see you in the next video. Until then, peace out.